Well, good evening, internets. It's me, DP Knudten, and this is another edition of BOOKWARD BOUND. 301 days from I should really do this to done. And it's all about my journey, my in real life, in real time journey to getting a book that's been in my head, out of my head, and into publication starting January 1st of 2021. So it's still a bunch of days away, but I'm chipping away at this book one little bit at a time every single day for 301 consecutive live streams. Yeah, we're going to see how long I can keep this going. But so far, so good. I mean, this is number 38. So 38 consecutive days doing this as I work toward getting this book done. The name of the book is called NONFICTION BRAND. Discovering, crafting, and communicating the completely you, completely true brand you already are. And in fact, I hold this up as the cover art because that's exactly what it is. I, like so many people, need to see it to be it. Well, in this case, I need to see the book cover before I can believe that this is actually going to be turned into a book. And the cool thing is, the ability to create this book is completely in my hands, as it was the first time I created a book called Rotoma, the ROI of Social Media Top of Mind, which I have a copy of right here. See that? Nice. Looks like a book, right? It is a book. It's a self-produced book. It's a self-published book, but it looks just as good as any book that you could get from any regular publishing house. Why? Because those tools are now available to you in the form of direct publishing via things like Amazon's Kindle Direct Publishing platform. You upload the files that have been approved by them to make sure that they're formatted correctly, and then you've got a book that's available on Amazon for people to buy on demand. So cool. First time in history that you can do this type of thing, and it's totally in your hands to do it. And that's what I'm going to be doing, working on this book. So I'm going to cut right to the chase and go right to Scrivener. What you see right before you is an application called Scrivener, which is great for writing books. It's got tons of features, and I'm not here to teach you Scrivener. You can see untold numbers of videos on YouTube about it. Instead, I'm going to show you an actual person, me, who's writing their book in real time, in real life, via this live stream. So you can see over here, I've got a number of sections or chapters. Some of those chapters actually have a bunch of subsections. And like this section has a bunch of stuff that is not fully fleshed out at all. Yeah, hold on. I'm going to get this and bring this in here as the chapter title. And I'm going 16 bold as my standard chapter title. So these are all sections or portions of the book that need to be written. And so I'm going to flag this section literally by giving it a flag, and that flag is going to be a red flag, meaning, dude, you have not written anything regarding this specific section, so that when I actually am in the mood to do some actual writing of the book, all I have to do is look for a section that has the red flag, and that'll be my cue to say, oh, I could write about this section if I feel so inspired. And it's a great way to get the book done. Now, it may be a little haphazard or non-linear for people who are very linear-oriented, but it's perfect for the way my brain works. If I had to sit down and write a book from first page to last page all in one sitting, I think I would probably kill myself before the end of it, because that's not the way my brain works. My brain flits all over the place. I refer to it as a fly in a Mexican market. It's just going over all the way to the meats, to the vegetables, to land on a thing of tortillas. my brain is all over the place all the time. So the only way I'm going to get this book written is by swapping metaphors, planting seeds, and then allow those seeds to sprout and create, fully written sections over time. Yeah, it's a little crazy, but hey, you know what? If anybody says there's one way to write a book, I would laugh in their face. It's wrong. That's not true. There's many ways to write a book as there are writers of books out there. And I'm therefore sharing you my techniques, which basically lacked all technique whatsoever. But anyway, I'm going through and doing this flagging because I haven't done it heretofore. And this is really going to help me, especially if you're a goal-oriented person. Like if you love checking off things off a list, what could be better than taking one of these red flags and changing it to blue? Now, my color code here is red means, dude, you haven't written squat for this section. The yellow means you've written a bunch of stuff, or you've written some stuff in this section, or this should actually be red because I haven't done anything in there. You've written some stuff in this section, but you need to finish it with more actual physical writing. And then the blue is the flag that I'm going to use for indicating that you've written a bunch of stuff. The first draft is done. But eventually you're going to have to come back here and fine-tooth grammar check it, spell check it, really fine-tooth comb that section before it goes to a green flag. And that green flag is going to mean that section is done and ready to go, as far as I can take it. And you can see right now I've got 1, 2 blue sections. Holy crap, I got some writing to do. Lucy's got some splaining to do. Well, I got some writing to do. But one of the things I want to do is, again, keep reconciling my mind map, which you can see here. I'm going to zoom in on this so you can see how these sections map out. Well, first let me show you. This is why I love me some mind mapping. I can compress everything down, or I can blow it up. And I can take the stuff that I don't want to focus on, shrink that down so I can kind of look at the top section or the main top level organization of the book. I need to bold this. And I should probably all cap it, but brand versus commodity. Yeah, that's right here. And I'm literally reconciling my mind map to Scrivener and back and forth. Because sometimes, and again, if I had any discipline whatsoever, I would do the mind map all the way until it's perfect and done. And then take that and put it into sections in Scrivener right before you, right here. But that would require some organization and some discipline, something that neither of which I have in great supply. So other people would look at my system and pull out their hair and say, you're insane for doing it this way. To which I say, yeah, you're probably right. But the fact is, I'm going to get this done, and I'm going to get it done by January 1st, 2021. So where am I right now? I've got all these sections flagged. I got to make sure all these subsections are appropriately flagged. And again, I'm doing this just so I can get my disorganized brain a little bit organized. And some of the names here, like I want to use specific examples and tell many case stories about individuals who've really done a fantastic job building their personal brands. These are people I haven't talked to yet. I haven't gotten permission to talk about them. But I'm putting them in so I don't forget. Oh, yeah, these are the people I want to talk about. I think I might put one in there too for... Yeah, because that would be a good one to talk about as well, because he's pivoted a little bit. All right, so just for grins, I'm going to count these sections. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27, 28, 29. I'm going to write down that number. And then these are the games I play, right? Let's say I want this book to be 250 pages divided by 29 equals 8.6 and change pages. So that means each section would have to be 8.6 pages. Let's call it 8.5 just for easy math. And I already figured that a typical word count would probably be around 350 words a page. So let's do that again. So 8.5 pages times 350 equals 2,975 words in a designated section. Now that's keeping in mind that if that would be if every page had nothing but words on it. And some books, many books are like that, but not the books that I create. Like here's an example spread from Rotoma. Okay. You can see I use screenshots in there. And plenty of air. Plenty of white space. Because this is not a novel. And I think people, well, with the exception of voracious novel readers, the way we read has changed. It's kind of like, remember when, well, for those of us who are old enough, remember when MTV came on for the first time and the number of cuts in a video went from a typical, let's say 10 to 500. I mean, seriously, the cutting style of MTV affected everything and affects even today the way feature-length movies are cut because there's just so many more cuts in it. I think the way that people read on digital sources, you know, whether it's Facebook or Twitter's the worst. All of a sudden, everybody's reading everything's in smaller chunks. You know, on Twitter, it's 280 character chunks. But there's even a slang term for it or a street term for it called broetry. If you go on LinkedIn and you see someone make a comment or someone makes a statement, space, line, single sentence, space, line, you know, and then another 2-sentence, nothing. I mean, it literally, there's not a paragraph, a full paragraph in anything anymore. Well, my book is going to have paragraphs, but those paragraphs are going to be 4 sentences long. William Faulkner, they will not be. And I can give you an example of that. Let's look at this. Okay, here's a great example, right? First paragraph. It's actually 4 sentences, but look at the first or the third and fourth sentences. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 words and 5 words. I mean, oops, I'm sorry. I got to show you this stuff. So I was pointing out right here, the third and fourth sentence of this 4-sentence paragraph is a 6-word sentence and a 5-word sentence. Man, it's very Hemingway. A lot of active words, a lot of, don't say 15 words when you can say 2. Well, that's the goal. And a lot of these sections are going to have that. Like here's another section. Take a look at this. And the whole thing is, if you read it, it makes sense. It's not like I'm trying to truncate paragraphs and make them really short. It literally is going from one thought cluster to the next thought cluster. They're all related. They're all chained together, but they're a lot shorter. And that's okay, because that's the way, if you ask me, the majority of people who read these days. Anyway, let's see. I want to just go through this. I am not a fiction writer. Branding gets personal is right there. The birth of brand is right there. Okay, so I need to reorder these a little bit. Branding gets personal. A logo is not a brand. Brand versus commodity. B, the red gummy bear. The personal brand formula. Laying the foundation. Okay. And that goes into this whole section. Differentiation, then demonstration. Scalpel versus Swiss Army knife. Me or my biz. That's actually... I need to put that someplace else. Actually, I think it's more of a top level concern, so Biz, what's the difference? And this will be plus how to answer your phone. I want this to be a sub. There we go. And change that to a red flag. So this is a new section that makes sense that I want to write about. Because as I go through this outline, I'm finding holes in the logic of the story I want to tell, or things that need amplification. And so that's what I'm doing. I'm amplifying. Okay, what's the difference? Company name. Laying the brand foundation. Differentiation. Scalpel. Key 3. Yeah, I have a bunch written for that. Yeah, that's about 2,800 plus words right there to get me to my 8 pages. So... but I'm still not done. There's other stuff down here I have to do. Branded, great. Now what's your brandle? You, now in a convenient travel size. what's your flagship is actually going to go down. Oh, man, my biz. Yeah, I want to do... What's your brand look like? JBAER. Yeah, he doesn't know I'm gonna write about him, but I am going to write about him. You're now in a convenient travel size. The power of one. I don't know what I'm going to do that. No. I don't want that to have an underline there. Mm, 16 bold. And that's a placeholder title. I don't like it, but I'm going to put forest. That's what I'm going to write about. All right. Gospel quotes. All right. I think I'm done for tonight. You know, I'm sitting here going, I think my brain stopped working a little bit. So I'm not going to force it. Because here, I say this every night, but it's very, very true. This is a marathon. And I can't approach every live stream as a sprint because I will burn out. I have to do a total of 301 of these, and only 38 are done, including tonight's. So I'm not going to beat myself up. You know, I don't have a quota. The only quota I have when it comes to Bookward Bound is actually doing the live stream. That's my quota. If I came on here for 5 minutes and said, guys, I'm just not feeling it tonight, but I had to show up because I made a promise to you and myself. I would count that as a win, because the thing I do not want to do is not show up. And so that's what I'm doing. I'm showing up. I made a promise to you. I made a promise to myself to do that. And so far, 38 days in, I'm keeping that promise, and I'm okay with that. So, did I get a whole ton done tonight? Nah, not really. But I did advance the book forward some. And, you know, I look at that as a win. So, yay, go team. Let's put the W on the board. I'm DP Knudten for the Nonfiction Brand podcast and BOOKWARD Bound, the never-ending live stream series that's following me on my journey to actually writing a book by January 1st, 2021. I'd like to invite you to listen to the Nonfiction Brand podcast, which comes out every Monday. We've got a new episode coming out this Monday with Matthew Sweezy, the author of the really great book, The Context Marketing Revolution. It's another good episode. I just edited it today, so I think you should check it out for sure. I'd also like to invite you to join Nonfiction Brandversity, the free Facebook group that I have. All you have to do is look up Nonfiction Brandversity on Facebook, ask to join the group, and answer 3 questions to prove you're not a bot, and you're in. And that's all there is to it. It's a great place to get information and inspiration to help build your personal and small business brand. You know, other than that, I think I'm done for the night. So, hey, theme music, take us on out. That's it for tonight's episode of BOOKWARD Bound. I'm DP Knudten. I'll see you next time. Bye-bye.